What's up, gamers? Hi, Guardians, and hello, Internet. Welcome to another Sloop Gaming video. Huge day today. Bungie dropped the final shape showcase. Fantastic. Thanks to everyone who came out to the stream for the watch party. A lot of positive reactions in chat. A lot of positive reactions on the Discord. Very much looking forward to the final shape. But also today, update 7.2.0.1, Season of the Witch is upon us. Let's take a look. Destiny 2 update 7.2.0.1, Season of the Witch from the Destiny dev team. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Activities. Relive the past. Ikora offers a timeline reflections quest to help new and lapsed players get caught up on major story beats by replaying 3 key moments: Cade's fate from Forsaken, communing with Stasis from Beyond, and the Lucent Hive from the Witch Queen. Includes new cinematics and rewards for new players to quickly get up to speed before the final shape. Ritual rank ups now happen immediately on receiving reputation instead of the next time you go to orbit. Weekly Ritual Director challenges have been updated, removing the requirement to play 3 instances of a specific ritual to obtain rewards. Challenges now allow completion of any ritual activity, Crucible, Vanguard, or Gambit, to progress the challenge in sets of 3, to earn up to a max of 3 exotic engrams. Surge matching has been removed as a requirement for Vanguard completions to progress the weekly challenge. Ritual vendor challenges for completing 8 bounties on Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit vendors have had their rewards updated to reward pinnacles. Ritual specific engrams will now drop more often, allowing players more choice on what rewards they get through focusing. Ritual weapons will now be focusable during the first season they are available. Crucible. General Crucible added Fireteam matchmaking to CBMM, connection-based matchmaking playlist. Fix a cinematic issue for Crucible maps Meltdown and Cathedral of Dusk. Revised playlist tooltips to remove redundant information. Fixed out-of-bounds issues on Crucible maps Meltdown and Radiant Cliffs. Fix an issue with textures on Crucible map Bannerfall. Competitive 3v3 placement series challenge progress is now synced across characters. Fix an issue where the placement series challenge would not grant a reward. Rift, fix an issue that caused spark dunks to count as more than 1 dunk. Scorched, fix an issue where certain subclasses could use their air move abilities. Zone control, fix an issue where the bonus reputation icon did not display while Crucible reputation booster is active. Iron Banner, daily Iron Banner challenges have been split into 2 series. Each series has 4 challenges rolled out daily over the week. Series 1, players complete Iron Banner matches with no restrictions to earn Iron Banner rank progress bonus multipliers. Series 2, players earn points in Iron Banner as a seasonal subclass to earn pinnacle rewards. Rumble, matches no longer reward twice as much Crucible reputation as other Crucible modes when specific conditions are met. Iron Banner Fortress added mode-specific voiceover to Iron Banner Fortress. Loose SBMM, skill-based matchmaking, altered parameters to improve search times and match quality for players to either end of the skill spectrum or for those playing in low population regions or times. Lobby balancing, corrected an issue where highly skilled players could be misallocated across teams. Clash and Control changed Iron Banner Clash and Control map weighting to match that of the core Clash and Control playlist. Vanguard Ops fixed an issue where the bonus reputation modifier icon did not display for Nightfall activities. Gambit added FBMM Fireteam based matchmaking and removed freelance mode. Updated the Gold Coins Gilding Triumph progress string to reflect the change from wins to matches played. Niamuni in the campaign mission Downfall improved the physics in grav lifts and removed ability drain. added Nimbus vendor rep as reward to event chests that were previously only awarding Glimmer. Dungeons goes to the deep. Fix some quarantine volumes that were causing players to get a joining allies message while the emerge encounter was in progress. Fix an issue where the final boss of the dungeon was teleporting more than intended during the damage phase. Raids, Root of Nightmares. Fix an issue where players are unable to purchase the shotgun because the raid weapon vendor was incorrectly checking for available inventory space. Guardian ranks updated the objective pinnacle rewards in Guardian rank 8 to reflect the updated weekly challenges to complete bounties for Drifter, Shax, and Zavala. Players can now see their rank up buffs displayed in their Guardian's character sheet. Fix an issue in which the Guardian rank 4 objective Glimmer was continuing to show progress after completing it. Loadouts +4 message will now display the correct description. Fix an issue in which some of the system unlock messages for Guardian ranks do not have a proper icon. Players now will get credit for completing the Kingsfall raid in a higher difficulty without having completed the regular difficulty. Bunch of UI, UX bullet points here. The inspection screen and Eververse preview screens now support playing audio for exotic weapons, sparrows, ships, ghosts, and other items that may have custom ambient audio. Timeline to help new players understand the fundamentals. Destiny calls and witness backstory cinematics can be played directly from the first page of the timeline, upper right corner of the director. To help new players learn the game, added a QR code that opens the new player guide on Bungie.net. Fix an issue preventing the player from crouching in the exotic mission Operation Seraph Shield, where some quest steps objectives would display as incomplete even if they were completed, where commendations were incorrectly grayed out as already given in some activities, corrected an issue that prevented the visual effects from displaying for the Witch Queen expansion node on the timeline, fix a text display issue in the Russian language version of the Season Pass description page. Featured quest. Added a new tab to quest log that helps players focus on completing key quest lines. Players can now launch into many quest activities or to quest locations directly from the quest details screen. Players can prioritize the quests that appear in featured quest categories by tracking them in the quest log. A number of activities were pushing a new adventures available announcement to the HUD when they became available, either through progression or after the daily reset. We've reworked this system to reduce the frequency of that particular announcement's appearance, and moving forward, enable us to more readily provide specific announcements, starting with a new Legend Lost Sector available announcement when a new Legend or Master Lost Sectors become available. Fix an issue that caused certain background details and colors not to be visible on some destination maps when navigating between director tabs. Fix an issue with the memorialized emblem in which it didn't slot raid and dungeon trackers, in which the total triumph score was not accurate. Players can now interact with the past seasonal artifact wars tab. Also fix an issue in which the combination score, guardian name, and icon were not visible in some instances in the combination screen within the journey screen. Gameplay and investment. Abilities. Again, these are all fixed an issue where ability energy wasn't cleared when changing class ability. That allowed players to activate sprint melees without sprinting. That caused threadling grenades to spawn double threadlings when thrown against some surfaces. Where at specific resilient stat values, players could receive the previous tier's PvE damage resistance value rather than their current tiers. Where the Wishender bow in combination with abilities like Shadow Shot were able to generate significantly more super energy per shot than intended. All subclasses. Titan. Increased Towering Barricade base cooldown time from 48 to 70 seconds. Reduce Barricade, all variants, maximum health from 600 to 500 hit points. And increase damage resistance from PvE combatants to compensate. Lift, all variants. Remove soft ceiling for lift to eliminate instances where players could activate the movement node but receive no upward movement, e.g. while Speed Booster was active. Note, Warlock Glide already had no soft ceiling. Hunter, double jump, all variants. Remove soft ceiling for double jump to eliminate instances where players could activate the movement node but receive no upward movement. Note, Warlock Glide already had no soft ceiling. Okay, we understand that. Arc subclasses. Hunter, fix an issue where the lethal current aftershock could deactivate Liar's Handshake's cross counter perk. Titan, reduce knockouts bonus melee damage versus players from 50 to 30. Increase Thunder Crash's base cooldown time from 500 to 556 seconds. Thunderclap, now costs energy on attack rather than during the windup. Reduced ready weapon speed penalty after attacking by 50%. Skip Grenade, reduce base cooldown time from 121 to 105 seconds. Solar subclasses. Warlock. Again, these are all fixed in issue, where the Scorch supply from Celestial Fire could fail to activate perks requiring melee defeats. Where the Heat Rises description did not include the healing burst on grenade consume added in patch 4.1.0.2. Where the Icarus Dash description displayed the air move keybind rather than the air dodge keybind. Where swarm grenade submunitions could become stuck in Ward of Dawn geometry, rapidly dealing impact damage to it rather than detonating after reaching its maximum impact count. Titan fixed an issue where the death screen obituary text for sunspots was missing. Void subclasses. For the Titan, fixed an issue where shield bash damage was being scaled to 0 against players in an active grapple. Reduced Void Wall Grenade's base cooldown from 152 to 121. Fragments, Echo of Instability and Echo of Provision fixed an issue where defeating targets with non-void grenades, Forerunners the Rock, would fail to activate the fragment perk. Echo of Harvest fixed an issue where the cooldown buff tray text did not correctly indicate the name of the fragment. Fixed an issue where some players were unable to purchase void fragments from Ikora until they had purchased at least 2 void aspects. Stasis. On the Warlock, increased consistency of Penumbral Blast, freezing fast-moving targets, players grappling towards the casting Warlock, for example. Fragments. Whisper of Bonds now creates an orb of power for you and your allies when defeating frozen targets, rather than directly granting super energy. Players can no longer perform interactions, revives, countdown, bomb plants, etc. while frozen. Strand subclasses. Hunter. Silk Strike. Increase Silk Strike's damage resistance from 40 to 45%. Reduced suppression time between Silk Strike super air attacks. Reduced vertical lift provided by Silk Strike heavy air attack to reduce instances of missing the primary target. Threaded Spectre. Increased Threaded Spectre lifetime from 10 to 12 seconds. Increased Threaded Spectre health versus PvE combatants. Threaded Spectre now takes longer to detect nearby PvE combatants at the beginning of its lifetime. PvE combatants now more consistently focus on Threaded Spectre instead of the Hunter. Allied players no longer have reticle magnetism towards Threaded Spectre. Fix an issue where the Threaded Spike was unable to return to its owner if the owner was invisible. For example, from Assassin's Cowl activating. Warlock, the Wanderer, destroying a tangle now creates a delayed suspending detonation. Increase suspend detonation radius from 6 meters to 7 against PvE combatants. Increased Thrown Wanderer Tangle detonation damage to match standard Tangle detonations. All classes, Fragments, Thread of Generation. Reduce the overall energy gain per damage event against PvE combatants by 20%. Rebalance the energy gain multiplier across primary weapon archetypes to bring energy gains for dealing damage with precision weapons and fully automatic weapons closer together. Note, this means that overall, while fully automatic primary weapons have had their efficiency reduced, precision primary weapons have had their efficiency increased to compensate. Threat of Mind, reduced class energy gain based on the tier of the defeated target. Minor combatants reduced from 15 to 10. Majors, 25 to 15. Bosses, champs, mini-boss, reduced from 50 to 25%. Threat of Propagation, now grants plus 10 strength. Threat of Continuity, no longer grants plus 10 strength. Threat of Wisdom, no longer requires a precision kill to activate. Threat of Isolation, reduce the number of precision hits to activate by an average of 30%, varies by weapon archetype. Threat of Rebirth, the number of crafted threadlings now varies based on the tier of the defeated target. Minors 1, Elites 2, Boss Champs mini bosses 3. Suspend, reduced base suspension duration versus non-champion PvE combatants from 8 to 5 seconds. Threat of Continuity now extends this duration to 7, down from 12 seconds. Reduced base suspension duration versus champion combatants from 8 to 3 seconds, 4 seconds with Threat of Continuity. Increased snap damage dealt to suspend boss combatants by 67%. Players can no longer perform interactions, revives, countdown bomb plants while suspended. Increased threadling damage versus PvE combatants by 30%. Reduced tangle creation cooldown time from 15 to 12. Reduced woven mail's damage resistance versus PvE combatants from 60 to 55. PvE combatants affected by Sever now have their outgoing damage reduced by 40%, up from 30. Grapple melee now always takes priority during the grapple melee window, regardless of melee charge state, whether players have a threaded spike or arcane needle charge readied, and regardless of whether there is a valid target nearby. Armor. The functionality of the Foe Tracer Hunter exotic helmet has been moved to the Knucklehead Radar exotic helmet. Foe Tracer's previous perk has been completely replaced by the following perk. Damaging a powerful combatant or guardian with an ability grants you a temporary bonus to weapon damage matching your subclass type. Defeating that target with a weapon matching the damage type of your subclass creates an elemental pickup. The Lucky Raspberry exotic armor has been reworked and now reads, increases the chaining capabilities of Arc Bolt Grenade, damaging enemies with Jolt Lightning Strikes and collecting Ionic Traces grant additional Arc Bolt Grenade energy. Arc Bolt Grenade stun overload champions and delay their health regeneration. Reverted the previous change to the cooldown of Duskfield grenades granted by Renewal Grasps. Reworked ACD0 feedback fence to make use of the armor charge system. New perk. Melee hints grant an armor charge, and you take reduced melee damage while you have said armor charge. Taking melee damage causes you to emit a burst of damaging arc energy that jolts targets, consuming your armor charge and dealing more damage based on the number of stacks consumed. In addition to its existing functionality, Icefall Mantle now has a chance to grant an escalating bonus to stasis weapon damage on stasis kills. Activating your class ability grants you the highest tier damage bonus. The Hollow Fire Heart exotic has had its perk reworked. While standing in a sunspot, defeating an enemy with solar damage creates a sunspot. It generally improves recharge rate. It greatly improves recharge rate of your abilities while your super is charged and provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons. A design note, Hollow Heart had too much overlap with Heart of Inmost Light and yet was restricted to one damage type. With this rework, we're looking to lean harder into the solar subclass by letting you create more frequent sunspots while still retaining some elements of its previous functionality. The tier 4 arc weapon damage bonus granted by your Fist of Havoc super ending has had its duration extended to 30 seconds, up from 10. Path of the Burning Steps now grants the Tier 4 solar weapon damage bonus on solar grenade kills. In addition to its existing functionality, Doomfang Pauldrons now has a chance to grant an escalating bonus to void weapon damage on void kills. Void melee kills automatically grant the highest tier damage bonus. When you use Blink, Astrocyte Verse now causes enemies near you to become volatile. When using Vanova Warp Super, your Dark Blink movement ability does not cost super energy. In addition to its existing functionality, Geomag Stabilizers now grants energy for your Chaos Reach Super when picking up an Ionic Trace. In addition to its existing functionality, Wings of Sacred Dawn now reloads your solar weapons from reserves when you get a kill while suspended in midair. Winter's Guile now causes enemies encased by the Penumbral Blast melee to automatically shatter. Arbor Warden's unique class ability should now benefit from all sources of bonus class ability energy correctly. Couple fixed an issue that would cause Arbor Warden's class ability to not animate properly when used with Yotun or Tractor Cannon, where Eternal Warrior's arc weapon damage bonus wouldn't function unless you had the Super Fist of Havoc equipped. Fix an issue causing Chromatic Fire's elemental explosions to fail to apply their status effects in certain situations. Fix an issue causing Liar's Handshake bonus melee damage to not function correctly with the Lethal Current arc aspect or the Gathering Storm arc super. Fix an issue where Swarmers would not create threadlings when a tangle was thrown after grappling to a different tangle. Fix an issue where the Peregrine Greaves HUD status effect did not have an icon. The Armor Charge HUD element will now show your actual maximum number of potential armor charges, rather than always showing 6 empty boxes. Fix an issue causing swords to not benefit from ammo reserve armor mods. Fix an issue causing the Hunter's Golden Gun Super to benefit from Kinetic Surge armor mods. Fix an issue where the Season 20 Guardian Games class items were not available as armor ornaments. Added unkindled versions of both the Candescent and Sunlit Universal ornaments for all classes. For Guardians that unlock the armor glows for these sets during Solstice, both versions will be available to unlock in the appearance screen. Guardians that have not unlocked the glows will not see any changes to these sets in their available ornaments. The Warlock Armor, Psionic Speaker Robes, Resolute Champion Robes, and Wraps of the Emperor Minister have had their visual issues fixed. Also fix an issue that caused the Hunter Chest Armor Vest of the Taken King to be invisible when worn in the helm. All right, and moving to weapons. Globally, PvE kills with 2 special weapons equipped now generate heavy ammo at the same rate as 2 primaries, or 1 primary and 1 special. RIP double special builds. Decoupled damage fall off from Zoom. Added a fixed ADS damage fall off scaler to all guns with damage fall off. For more information on that, check my video out on the Dev Insights Season 22 weapons preview. Reticles. Replace the perk active hipfire reticle element. The new one should work better at a different field of view. Settings. Added a perk active indicator to symmetry. Moved Grand Overture's charge meter further down the screen to reduce instances of overlapping other reticle elements. Weapon archetypes. Hand cannons. Increase reload speed stat from 0 to 15. Increase damage against miners, red bars, by 20%. Increase damage against major combatants, orange bars, by 75%. Change Warden Law to be the first member of a new subfamily, Heavy Burst, which fires a 2-round burst. Bows. Reduced minimum reload animation duration from 0.5 to 0.3 seconds. This means that applying reload speed scalers on top of high reload stat will still have an effect. Increase the projectile velocity at full draw, so the projectiles will continue to perform as they were hit scan at longer distances, at higher frame rates, equalize the full draw projectile velocity with combat bows, fix the RPM stat of aggressive submachine guns to correctly show 720 RPM, reduced aggressive sidearms base damage from 32 to 30, increased BXR Battler pulse rifle zoom back to 20, fix the impact stat on the Comedian shotgun. This is cosmetic only, damage per pellet is unchanged. Fix an issue with the Adept Masterworks and enhance intrinsic perks for fusion rifles for decreasing the damage dealt by fusions when they changed the charge time stat. Wave frame heavy grenade launchers reduce the size and damage of the self-damage AoE. This should make it much safer to fire the projectile closer to your feet. Swords. Sword Guard has been reworked. Energy now recharges after a short delay when used, but recharges much faster. The delay before recharge and recharge rate are both governed by the guard charge rate stat. This delay ranges between 2.7 and 1.05 seconds, depending on charge rate. The rate energy returns after the delay has massively increased to compensate, increasing even more at higher charge rate. Even after delay, swords now return to full energy from empty faster than before this rework. Full power heavy attacks can now be used with any non-zero amount of sword energy rather than requiring full sword energy. Sword Guard damage resistance has been massively increased and now provides between 82.5 and 95% damage reduction depending on guard resistance stat. The damage resistance value sharply reduced against other players similar to glaives, providing between 52.5 and 65% DR depending on guard's resistance stat. Sword Guard no longer loses energy when taking damage. As a result of the above, guard efficiency has been removed as a stat. Sword Guard duration increased across every guard type, with those with the shortest durations benefiting the most. Sword Guard talent nodes have had their stats squished down. Combined with the above, even though their stats have been reduced, their damage reduction, charge rates, and guard durations have increased across the board. This allows origin traits and other sword perks more room to increase these stats and allow performance beyond their previous maximum. Sword Guard talent nodes now visually affect the charge rate bar on the inspection screen when hovered or selected, similar to other stat affecting nodes. Sword movement speed while blocking increased from 0.75x multiplier to 0.85. The Lament exotic sword has been special case, so its charge rate and delay are unaffected, but it still benefits from the increased guard damage reduction and duration. Exotic weapons. Fix an issue where ammo was loading into Quicksilver Storm slightly too late in the reload animation. Fix the impact stat on Dead Man's Tail. This is cosmetic only. Damage per bullet is unchanged. Two-Tailed Fox's Catalyst perk, Third Tail, has been reworked. Two-Tailed Fox now fires all 3-shot burst fire with the Catalyst instead of firing 3 rockets in 2 bursts. This improves the weapon's consistency and prevents situations where the rockets could collide mid-flight. Slightly increase the direct impact damage of the Catalyst arc rocket. Vergilus Curve. Whisper of Fissures detonations now generate hail barrage stacks if the crystal was created by this weapon. Shiver Quiver now activates when slowing enemies. Increase the slow stacks from 40 to 60 when hitting players directly with hail barrage arrows. This allows for a freeze if 2 hail barrage arrows hit the same player. Le Monarque, also known as Lemon. Reduce draw time from 684 to 612 milliseconds. Reduce body shot damage from 100 to 85. Increase critical hit multiplier from 1.5 to 1.6x. Crit damage against players goes from 150 down to 136. Reduced dot burn time from 3 to 1.75 seconds. Goes from 8 ticks to 6. Increased dot burn damage against players from 1.875 to 2.5 per tick. Burn damage also increased in PvE by 50%. Vex Mythoclast, RPM reduced from 390 to 360 to match other high impact auto rifles. Increased damage against minor combatants red bars and major combatants orange bars by 25%. Tommy's matchbook scorch values updated to 15 plus 5 was 14 plus 7 with the Ember of Ashes fragment equipped. Touch of Malice increased final round damage in PvE by 20%. Decreased the self damage from the final round from 10 to 7. Final round damage can no longer kill the user. Increased the health awarded by the Touch of Mercy perk from 30 to 75. Set up Touch of Mercy to work like Unrelenting. Guardians and major combatants give more points towards activation. Increase the time allowed between kills. Ball of Darkness now appropriately deals arc damage and will blind combatants and stun unstoppable champions. Fix an issue with malfeasance where the Vorpal weapon catalyst wasn't displaying the status buff text. Reduce the lethal kill distance of Cloud Strike's lightning strike against players. Wicked Implement, timing window for creeping attrition has been increased from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds. Tithing Harvest can now also be activated by destroying stasis crystals. Wicked Implement Exotic Catalyst now also includes the Headstone perk. Centrifuge, fix the issue where Centrifuge could blind some non-combatant, non-player objects like doors, resulting in a visually only debuff indicator. Fix an issue where Centrifuge's blind did not respect the direction a player was facing. Players who face away from the blind detonation will now suffer less visual impact than if they were looking directly at it, similar to other sources of blind. Perks. Reduced bipod's damage penalty from 40 to 25%. Envious Assassin. There is no longer a time limit after kills within which you have to activate the perk or get another kill. The perk will now activate even if the magazine is overflowed. Will stop activating once you hit maximum magazine size of 2.5x or greater. Enhanced Envious Assassin now provides fractionally more ammo per kill instead of a longer window of time after a kill. Under Over now provides body shot damage against players with Woven Mail. Increase the bonus damage against combatant shields. Deals significantly increased damage to enemies who are enhanced by a Dark Cabal overshield, in addition to enemies shielded by Lucent Moths. Reduced Under Pressure's maximum accuracy cone scaler from 0.5 to 0.75. Shoot the Loot no longer triggers the reload when shooting a special brick that could not be picked up while also having an overflowed weapon equipped. Explosive damage now interacts with Orbs of Power. Valiant Charge now deactivates after the initial sword swing. Ambush no longer deactivates from healing, fall damage, or being shot by allies. Fix an issue where the enhanced version of Explosive Light was granting 2 stacks on the initial orb pickup. Chill Clip reduced the slow stacks from 60 to 40. Wolfpack rounds no longer triggered this perk. And they fixed a number of other issues where the Vexcalibur ornament could be reset during reshaping, where the Revision 0 pattern triumph could not be claimed despite the pattern being unlocked, where a level requirement was shown on Enhanced Intrinsic in the shaping screen, enhanced weapons only. Fix an issue, a number of issues where the damage types were not being properly detected on weapons, preventing artifact perks related to damage from proccing. More fixed an issue where deep sight drop rates could decrease significantly as the number of patterns within a weapon set were unlocked, with SWAT Mag's tooltip appearance in the shaping screen, where tracking weapon projectiles would not track threaded Spectre decoys. that allowed Wishender to hit more times than intended when shooting through the Sight and Ramparts barricade. Bungie also states we've reworked a number of catalyst objectives in order to standardize the behavior of unlocking these perks. Fighting Lion reduced the number of total kills required, reduced the number of total bounties required for completion, with event bounties worth a bit more. This has all reduced the number of total kills needed when the Sunshot Blast perk detonation. Number of kills required with Graviton Lance's Cosmology perk. Number of kills required to bring Skyburner's Oath more in line with other primary weapons. Number of kills required to bring Legend of Acreus closer to other heavy weapons. Rat King, this catalyst will now progress through use by the player, not only from fire team use. Additional players in your fire team using Rat King will provide bonus progression towards the catalyst. We've now turned Darcy to involve Jolt. You've often run out of targets to headshot, therefore we reduced the number of headshots required to complete the catalyst. Leviathan's Breath reduced the number of kills required. Updated the string to denote that bonus progression is applied from defeating higher tier enemies. Reduce the number of kills required to bring Ariana's Vow more in parity with other special weapons. Also, Ruinous Effigy. Other crafting changes. Dead Man's Tail and Dead Messenger can now be crafted. Patterns and upgrades can be obtained from the Presage and Vox Obscura, respectively. Weapon level progression per kill in PvP modes has been increased slightly. Weapon level progression for activity completions has been increased slightly for the following areas: Crucible, Trials, Dares, Wellspring, Gambit, Platinum score completions of Master and Legend Lost Sectors. Weapon progression rollover behavior has been added. If weapon level progression earned from activity completion exceeds what is required to level up the weapon, the excess will now be applied to the next level. Resonant and harmonic alloys have been removed from weapon crafting cost and will no longer drop from dismantling specific weapons. Players can exchange their existing inventory of these alloys for Glimmer by visiting Rahul in the tower. Crafted and enhanced weapons now have a new mod socket visible in the inspection screen for weapon level boosting. Players can use Glimmer and enhancement cores to apply a weapon level boost mod to directly level their weapons with escalating cost as the weapon level increases. The Neomuna Weekly Pinnacle Story Mission Score Challenge will now provide guaranteed pattern progress the first time it is completed each week for any Neomuna crafted weapons you have not unlocked. The Neomuna Vendor Engram upgrade will now increase the drop chance of deep sight Neomuna weapons. This bonus will be automatic if you've already claimed the Vendor Engram upgrade. The Throne World Vendor Engram upgrade will now increase the drop chance of deep sight Throne World weapons. This bonus will be automatic if you've already claimed the Vendor Engram upgrade. Combatants. Increase the time before an incendiary gas tank on the ground explodes. Added grenade proximity indicators to them when they are primed for explosion. This should give you more time to react and also reduce the seemingly instant explosions from boss stomp. Scorn Stalkers will deal consistent damage to all guardians regardless of frame rate. Bounties and Pursuits. Shorten Banshee's 44 comments on the Centrifuge Catalyst quest Higher Voltage. Added progress on the Xenealogy quest when doing the Exotic Cipher quest on regular or enhanced difficulty. 4 points for regular, 7 for enhanced. Step 4 of the Void and Solar Mastery Pursuits now display correct objectives. Subclass Mastery Pursuits now display correct tech string when associated items are equipped. Fix an issue preventing the 21% Delirium machine gun and Hushbow from contributing progress for the Dark Age Arsenal Triumph. All of the Season of the Deep's Reckoning reprise weapons and their taking counterparts have been allowed to contribute progress as well. Wishender Pursuit has been reconfigured to no longer require 3 effectively permanent inventory items to store quest state. These items have been removed from inventory. If you own any Forsaken entitlement and do not have the Wishender Pursuit, visit Petra or the quest terminal to acquire. There is a new strand aspect available at the meditation pool for any player who completed the Veil Containment quest. Rewards. MK44 Standisize and Kepri's Horn now drop from the appropriate Red War focused engrams. Ascendant Shards, Alloys, and Enhancement Prisms no longer go to the Postmaster, but any that were with the Postmaster are still recoverable. Ascendant Alloys and Ascendant Shards now have a cap of 30. Enhancement Prisms have a new cap of 100. Fixed a missing salvage chest reward indicator on the Master Salvage node in the Director. New Specials Deliveries Kiosk. Promotional rewards that were previously claimable from Amanda Holiday and Master Rahul will now be delivered to and claimable at the Special Deliveries Kiosk in the Tower. It is located between Master Rahul and Banshee 44. Examples of items moving include Prime Drops, Secret Stash rewards, pre-order items, and Annual Pass Collector's Edition rewards, among others. Fixed an issue where the pre-order rewards for Forsaken and Lightfall were not delivered to Sean Han. Non-seasonal vendor engrams are once again cleared at the end of each season. Seasonal vendor engrams remain for the entire year. Focused engram previews now show items of the same power they focus at. For engram focusing that requires a specific yearly expansion to utilize, exotic decryption on Rahul, for example, the warning message telling you about the entitlement requirement, if you don't have it, should come before any other warning message on the decryption item. Focusable exotic engrams on Rahul now have previews that show all armor pieces your class could receive from that engram, or what pieces you need to acquire before you can focus it. Previews for legendary armor focusing now show custom armor perks if the armor has one. Updated Light 3.0 ability tooltip error message and subclass screen to indicate if a meditation is necessary. The Talk to Shaxx objective message is no longer triggered. That Shaxx interaction was previously removed. Fix an issue where Ikora was saying an incorrect line for purchasing a fragment if a player hasn't unlocked aspects for that subclass. Stasis acquisition on the Exo Stranger has been converted to the new vendor subclass system. Quest rewards that previously granted stasis currency have had their rewards changed. An engram tracker can now be recovered from the sonar station, in addition to other vendors, such as the war table, once deleted. And to wrap it up here, localization. Some general here. Equipping a loadout will no longer fail when swapping between similar mods. Equipping a loadout with the mod or perk selections that are no longer legal will now be able to successfully equip more of the original selections. Seasonal artifact perks can no longer be changed while in an activity with locked loadouts. Wars of Power have had their physics layer rework, bringing them in line with pre-patch behavior. They should no longer roll all over the place. Excellent. New and persistent flashing on the vendor upgrade node was fixed after additional upgrades were awarded. And then lastly, collections. Corrected the collection entry for the Outrunner ornament for Arbalest. Fixed an issue where a promotional emote would erroneously appear in the recently discovered feed in collections. Added a resource tab to collections where you can find information about all currencies and materials found in the game. Transmats are now considered account unlocks, and any transmat in collections will be available from your ship transmat menu. Any existing transmat items can be safely dismantled. And there you have it. Destiny 2 update 7.2.0.1 Season of the Witch. I'll tell you what, that was a long one to read, but I enjoy doing it because it's not just a refresher for me, it's a refresher for you. you active, established, veteran Guardian. But for new players, I know it's a lot to listen through, but it's something that you can put on in the background and get a familiarization with all the updates and changes that are happening. And it could trigger your mind to try something new. There's a lot of new things to do, or things that perhaps you kind of put aside. Maybe the patches and updates that were implemented will bring them back into your loadouts. Please let me know how you feel about this in the comments below. How do you feel about the Destiny 2 showcase that we saw today? It was a spectacle to witness, to say the least. Until next time, Guardians, be safe, stay vigilant, and as always, may the light protect us all. Thank you for watching. Likes and shares are very much appreciated, and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Peace.